Hi, welcome to Went for a Walk, Got Lost. I'm Ronald Paul Jordane, or Ronald Endgame. Paul Jordane. I'm a pro wrestler, and I was trying to figure out what type of a YouTube show do I want to do? What do I like to do? Couldn't come up with an idea, and then we realized that we travel all the time. Not only do I travel for wrestling, but I just like to travel and visit different landscapes, different beautiful views that are kind of localized to our area in the Maryland Mid-Atlantic area. I'm sorry. I apologize for Ralph. He's sleepy. He has a bedtime. We're recording this at night, but
I like how you caught me.
You tried to hide it?
I felt so much pressure when I yawned. I felt like somebody
What was the pressure? Because you knew I was going to get you?
Yeah, I felt them. I felt the...
Well, you can't sneak it by me. We were trying to figure out what the name of the show is going to be. What's the show going to be about? What's it going to be? Not only exactly about the destinations, but it's also going to be about the journey.
Adventure, yeah.
The journey. The way that we came up with the name, I get lost a lot. Not on purpose. Most of the shows we're not going to get lost. But sometimes it happens. And of course, our first adventure, it happened. We were trying to find Annapolis Rock. The goal was Annapolis Rock. So here we are trying to think about where we're going to go. What are we going to do? We could go to Annapolis Rock, which will be a beautiful sight for you, and I. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. You're going to see the majesty of Maryland. All the majestic wonder that Maryland has to offer. Probably not all, just a little bit. One of the toughest jobs that I ever had was roofing in Florida. It was just excruciating. The job's really hard, but the heat on top of it is what really made it complicated. What about you?
One of the toughest jobs I've done was stucco, going on swing sets and 20 stories and, mixing up concrete and bringing it up and slapping it on a wall.
Yeah, and that was pretty complicated too. So here's our stories on our way to our destination about some of the toughest jobs he and I have ever had. How was your day yesterday?
It was good.
Did you have like a regular day at work?
It was muddy and then it got hot. So imagine that.
But it's still nothing compared to how hot days are in Florida.
No.
What's some of the toughest jobs that you've had in Florida?
Stucco.
What's stucco?
Basically working with mud and putting it on a wall. Drywall is for inside.
Yeah, and the stucco's for out, and that's where it has like the you have to do the floaters, right?
Yeah.
You have the floaters and you.
Yeah.
You know what my toughest job in Florida was?
What was yours?
Roofing.
You've roofed before?
Yeah.
Huh.
Have you?
No.
Oh. Yeah, roofing.
I heard that was
tough.
Yeah.
Oh, it's tough. It destroys you. Like so I would only do it part-time. So I would work with Uncle doing the carpet cleaning business where I would just basically follow him and assist him cleaning the carpet. But one of the main things that one of my favorite ways of making money, we'd work with one of my friends whose father worked for a roofing company, but then they would have side jobs, and his company would let him, the owner of the company was cool, so he let him use their equipment to go do side jobs on the weekend. But they would have to do like a whole roof in a whole weekend, Saturday and Sunday, working 12 hours a day in the Florida sun. just going. And it was a 5-man squad, just 5 men doing it too. 3 high schoolers, 1 grown-ass adult, and 2 grown-ass adults. 3 high schoolers, 2 grown-ass adults who were kind of basically showing everybody how to do it. And it was work, man. It was work. Just the first couple of hours, you are taking a big giant, okay, so you know like a nail, you know the thing that goes on a nail, that's on the back of a hammer that helps you pull nails? So there's like a shovel that kind of has ridges in it where you can pull nails with it. So you take this shovel type contraption, you start shoveling the rooftop. So you basically shovel the nails out. So you have to hang on tight because you're pulling nails. So just think of the calluses that you get. So I always lifted weights, but the calluses were insane. My hands were bleeding by the end of the day. And it was only 2 days. It was just brutal, dude. It was brutal. We got paid $100, which was totally worth it. A day's worth of work, you know, but still, it was brutal, man. Destroyed your hands, you tear them down, and the easiest part is putting them back and then just, you know, using the nail gun and you're good to go. We did a couple patch jobs. We would go in and patch people's what's the stuff, shingles, replace the shingles. But that was one of the toughest jobs we had, man. It was just brutal. And the sun, so like every 5 minutes we'd have to take a break and drink water or Gatorade. But yeah, it was that was a tough job. Do you have any experiences like that?
Yeah, from people talking like that.
But you don't have any personal experiences.
No roofing. But I did have some, 20 stories of stucco.
Whoa.
Yeah, so we were on a hang swing.
Whoa. So y'all were on the wall.
Kind of, you know what?
On the thing that kind of like lowers you. It's like an elevator, like the outside elevator that's hanging off the side of the building, basically, and holding you up and down.
Yep.
So what did you? So you would basically cover an area, and then what? Pull yourselves up a little bit, and then cover that area. How did you do it?
It has a up and down button. We do that area, and then we go up. We try to do the top first,
so that you can work your way down, just in case any accidents happen. Right. At least you're getting lower and lower. That seems to be the best way to go. I mean, you start up there anyway because you have to go up there to set everything up, right?
Yeah.
Would you set up like the whole like elevator contraption?
No, they have people come in and do that.
That's still cool though.
Type of there's, how do I say it? The only thing bad about it is people got too comfortable up there, and
so they wouldn't pay attention as much.
Jumping and
oh no! Of course that happens.
It would swing on wind days. It would swing off the wall, so you're, you know.
That reminds me of that really famous picture of those New York workers from way back in the day. Do you remember seeing that? Of them sitting having lunch on top of the beams, and they're just sitting there having lunch, like they can't fall off. Just like that. It's just hard to imagine, but being up there enough, you get used to it, you know?
Yeah, there's somebody that fell from 8 stories.
Did he die?
Oh, well, I don't think it was from 8 stories. It was like 6 or something, but
he survived then if it was
okay.
6.
He just didn't work there anymore.
He's too much of a liability. I wouldn't want him working there either. Who fell? He's fired. But he was okay? He didn't break any bones or anything? He didn't break anything?
I'm not sure. I just seen him do it, and he wasn't there anymore.
That's crazy.
It was kind of like my first day, so I didn't really know anyone.
Yeah, those were really tough jobs. Now we start realizing that I made the wrong turn somewhere, and he has to laugh. He always has to laugh. The problem is, we're going to Annapolis Rock Trail. I put in the GPS, Annapolis Rock. I didn't double check to see if it actually was the destination. So then it turns out that we were at Annapolis Rock Road. Oh, we're way off. Damn. So the first place that I picked out was wrong. we're at the wrong place. I picked out the wrong place. We're on Annapolis Rock Road, not Annapolis Rock Trail. It's still pretty far out though. It's even further away than I expected. So it's almost 2 hours away. But that's fine. This was our plan all along. So, hey, at least we get to see more corn. There you go, corn. So another detour for us. My bad. All up. Now it's raining. We're about an hour and a half away from, I added about, an hour and a half onto the trip, which would have only been like a 2.5 hour drive, so I made it a 3.5, 4 hour drive. So of course, we drive our hour and a half to get here. After I messed up the first part, I assumed that we knew where we were going, and I didn't. I didn't know exactly where we were going, and now it's raining. Now it's raining. You love this. You're enjoying this. So now you're just laughing at my misery. I messed us up. I added about an hour and a half on top of it by getting us to Annapolis Rock Trail. And we checked the weather, started raining. Didn't matter though, we still wanted to get there. I wanted him to see Annapolis Rock. So we made it. All right. We have now made it to the Appalachian Trail, and so we're gonna hit the trail and get to moving. So we'll check back in a little bit once we find some good scenery.